I do mind giving you a level check. No, here it is. Well, it happened by default. Weather mic, weather mic, weather mic, mic 3, mic 3, mic 3. Right now on the National Weather Desk, life-threatening floods. It's going to be a very wet and dangerous Christmas across California.
14 inches or more can occur of rain over the mountains north of LA.
Communities prepare for intense rain that could trigger floods and mudslides.
We have certain homes that we've identified that are under mandatory evacuation orders.
While heavy snow falls from California to Washington.
If you want to get there on time, you got to leave earlier probably, just to make sure everything's safe.
An unusually warm Christmas day will break dozens of records across the country. A disease that's killing deer and other wildlife is spreading.
As the name implies, they just basically waste away.
And a special holiday poem from our Off the Radar podcast.
From our nation's capital, this is the National Weather Desk.
Good morning and welcome to the National Weather Desk. I'm meteorologist Matt Ritter. Southern California is facing a rare level 4 risk of flooding today as an atmospheric river storm delivers intense rain on Christmas Eve. And the region could receive a month's worth of rain or more over the next 2 days. Heavy rain is already falling from Los Angeles to Oregon. In addition to the flood threat, there could be mud flows, debris flows, and downed trees. While in the higher elevations of the Sierra Nevada mountains, up to 5 feet of snow is now expected to fall. All of this as people are hitting the roads for the holiday. We begin our coverage with meteorologist Ilya Newman.
The heaviest rain totals will be affecting our mountains because the winds are coming up the slope, squeezing out that subtropical moisture, and there is a lot of moisture out there. Another batch comes in Thursday morning hours, and that could be with some instability. Now, let's take a look at the excessive rainfall forecast. Bear in mind, this is into the weekend, but most of this will fall in the next 2 days. These are staggering totals. 6 to 8 inches is possible in the San Fernando Valley. You're talking about millions of people north of LA. 14 inches or more can occur of rain over the mountains north of LA and in Ventura County and around the Frazier Park, Lebec-Gorman area. You could get maybe 3, 4, 5, or 6 inches, maybe locally even higher.
And this storm is going to have a big impact across all of California. On Tuesday, people in communities spent the day getting ready. Several evacuation orders are already in place. We have reports from both northern and southern California. We start with Rena Nakano in Los Angeles, where preparations are underway in a neighborhood that burned in January's Eaton fire.
Hi, sir. Good morning. How are you?
Sheriff's deputies from the Altadena station out in full force, door-knocking residents in Eaton Canyon.
We have certain homes that we've identified that are under mandatory evacuation orders.
Those are the homes Public Works identified as having the highest risk of being flooded or inundated with mud and debris flow. Just down the hill, K-rails are strategically placed.
They're doing exactly what they're designed to do. Direct the mud flow as they come down the hill, direct it in the street, channel it down, let gravity do its work for us, and then keep the home safe.
Deputy Castro just visited Steve Schler, who lives in the warning area.
There's a high risk of debris and mud flow just in case.
He and his family just moved back into their home after almost a year of rebuilding.
High water levels, strong currents, and flooding filled up Shasta County roads this past weekend. With no end in sight, Redding city leaders are working around the clock to prepare for the incoming storms.
I want to make sure that water's getting released from these areas, that if there was debris or any kind of clogging, that those are being addressed, that we're making sure that the system's going to function properly.
Redding also had storm drains looking like this on Sunday. In preparation for this next storm, city street crews are addressing the overflowing storm drains.
And essentially when everything comes into one area where it's going to collect all of that rainfall, it can actually push water backwards. And so you'll see things like that.
With fast winds coming, utility crews are preparing for trees falling with the possibility of power outages this time around.
That same system is also impacting portions of Oregon. While heavy rain is expected, the bigger concern is with the wind, with gusts expected to reach 70 miles per hour. Christina Giardinelli is in Portland with more.
After an atmospheric river caused floods, landslides, power outages, and many downed trees, Oregon is bracing for round two. This time, the main concern is powerful winds, and they're expected to hit Christmas Eve morning.
Our crews are still working on recovery from the storms that have hit over the past week or so.
Casey Davey, a spokesperson for the Oregon Department of Transportation, says the areas that were hardest hit during last week's storm will likely be worse off.
Any places with soils that have already been saturated, tree-lined corridors, those places are more likely to see down trees and impacts. And from a windstorm, down trees or limbs and down power lines are really some of our biggest concerns.
It's still unclear how strong the winds might get, but the storm will likely last from the early morning hours till mid-afternoon, and it will start south, moving north.
Lots of tree cleanup and landslide cleanup are still underway, but we are preparing and staffing up to be able to respond to this storm if it hits. That means for us, our crews, we can't start clearing the roads until the windstorm dies down. So I'd urge everyone else during the peak of this windstorm, please stay off the roads if possible.
One thing to remember is those higher clearance vehicles. So vans, RVs, semis with higher clearance, those are going to be harder to control in a windstorm. So best to stay off the roads if you're driving one of those.
In Washington state, snow is a welcome sight in the mountains around Seattle, but officials warn that snow in those mountain passes could be a recipe for disaster on the roads. Jackie Kent has more.
It's shaping up to be a white Christmas in the Cascades as skiers hit opening day at the summit at Snoqualmie. For now, I-90 near the pass is bare for powder hounds and holiday travelers with some slush at the summit.
Have fun in the snow, keep ripping, and drive safe.
Come On News meteorologists expect Snoqualmie Pass will turn wet and rainy briefly Wednesday afternoon before changing back over to snow Christmas Eve night into Christmas morning. That means we could see slick conditions returning, and WashDOT has snow plows ready to keep primary routes clear.
I definitely think with the holidays, things can definitely get a little dicey, especially when the winter weather sits in with the snow and people don't really know how to drive in the snow, so that makes things a little more difficult.
Highway 2 remains closed due to mudslides and washouts. That means truckers, skiers now unable to go to Stevens Pass, and other east and west travelers are driving through Snoqualmie Pass to cross the Cascades. That could lead to big I-90 backups.
If your aunt or grandma says 5 p.m. on the table for dinner, that if you want to get there on time, you got to leave earlier probably, just to make sure everything's safe in case there's any delays.
The agency recommends adding in extra drive time and be prepared with emergency supplies in case of a road closure. Things like warm clothes, snacks, and water. There are no current restrictions at the pass for drivers like chain requirements, but that could change in the coming days.
And much of the rest of the nation is expecting an unusually mild Christmas. Thanks to warm, humid air from that California atmospheric river system, the holiday is shaping up to be the warmest on record, with the expected average high temperature across the lower 48 states hitting nearly 54 degrees. That would break the old record by 5 degrees. More than 100 individual high temperature records could fall tomorrow, especially from the West Coast across the Rockies to the Midwest. Highs in the 70s and 80s will stretch from Kansas to Texas and across the South. The Northeast should expect more seasonal temperatures with the possibility of more snow Friday into Saturday. Well, 21 years ago this Friday, a massive undersea earthquake occurred off the coast of Sumatra, Indonesia. It triggered a series of tsunamis that would travel across the Indian Ocean at nearly 500 miles per hour, killing 250,000 people in 14 countries. Meteorologist Emily Gracie looks back at that harrowing day.
December 26, 2004, a 9.1 magnitude earthquake struck nearly 20 miles below the Indian Ocean floor. The earthquake itself caused extensive damage, but was nothing compared to the tsunami that soon followed. The tsunami radiated out in all directions, striking the Indonesian islands as quickly as 20 minutes after the earthquake, with waves reaching heights of 167 feet and caused flooding up to 3 miles inland. Shortly before the tsunami struck, water was pulled away from the coastline, exposing the ocean floor and causing many onlookers to run up to the beach. The last major tsunami that formed in the Indian Ocean was in 1883, so unfortunately, public awareness was low and there was no official tsunami warning system in place. 17 countries were impacted and 250,000 people lost their lives.
Hawaii's Kilauea volcano was once again spewing lava overnight. This latest episode started exactly 1 year to the day after the ongoing eruption began on December 23, 2024. The latest fountains of lava reached 1,400 feet high. And then, just 6 hours after it started, this latest eruption ended abruptly, just after 7 a.m. Eastern Time. Coming up on the National Weather Desk, we'll head to Wisconsin to find out how the start of ice season fishing is going. And we'll help you understand the difference between sleet and freezing rain.
This is meteorologist Hannah Sheehy with a look at the Northeast. Much of us waking up to sunshine today. Northern New England has some snowfall ending, especially in Maine. We'll see some sunshine for your Christmas Eve. Maybe some clouds over in Maine for Christmas Eve, but they could see some sunshine as well. Clouds move back in for Christmas Day with some possible snowfall in the morning for Thursday. Your highs will climb into the mid to lower 30s today and maybe 40s down south.
I'm Chief Meteorologist Gerard Jabali. Here's a look at the mid-Atlantic region. We're looking drier heading into your Christmas Eve, and things will actually be pretty nice with some sunshine, milder temperatures on the way, a brief and fast-moving disturbance on the way for Christmas morning to bring a few showers down towards Virginia, but we're expecting it to be mostly dry elsewhere. Temperatures will be split, colder to the north of Maryland. To the south, it looks to be much milder, and we'll see that same sort of split as we head into Christmas afternoon as well.
Hi, I'm meteorologist Jennifer Collins with a look at your southeast forecast. High pressure remains in control here as we continue through the week. Heading into Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, expect a mostly sunny sky. Pleasant conditions overall, too. Afternoon highs on Wednesday will remain in the low 70s for most of the Carolinas and in the low to mid 70s for the northern Gulf Coast, too, and the Mississippi River Valley. Slightly warmer across central and south Florida with afternoon highs climbing into the upper 70s and low 80s heading into your Wednesday.
I'm Chris Suchan, Chief Meteorologist at WOAI News 4 San Antonio here in Texas. And you are watching the National Weather Desk.
In Arkansas, there are signs that chronic wasting disease is spreading. The ailment affects white-tailed deer. It's also known as zombie disease. The Arkansas Game and Fish Commission is urging hunters to look out for signs of this ailment. Chris Gay has more.
Chronic wasting disease, or CWD, has been in the United States since 1967, affecting deer, elk, moose, and antelope populations. The disease is caused by abnormal prion proteins, and they can be found in the nervous system. It can cause a damaging chain reaction, spreading to the brain, which can lead to neurodegeneration. The disease takes nearly 2 years to present symptoms, but once it does, those symptoms can be easy to spot.
They just don't act normal. If they are just standing there, they typically stand like they're kind of like a tripod. They got their legs are spread apart. They drink excessively. They use the bathroom excessively. Walk in circles.
Stevens also says that these deer no longer have a fear of humans. This disease is deadly for these creatures.
Eventually, it does kill the deer, and as the name implies, they just basically waste away.
One question experts are still trying to answer is, can humans get this disease?
There's been a lot of testing done around the country, and so far there hasn't, we haven't found a link.
Though there has not been a case where a human has contracted CWD, the American Academy of Neurology reported that in 2022, there were 2 hunters who died after developing Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease after eating CWD-infected venison.
Well, it's officially winter and the cold season is settling into Wisconsin. Many people are venturing out onto frozen waterways to do some ice fishing. Eric Peterson caught up with some anglers at Shawana Lake to the northwest of Green Bay.
Even on a drizzly Monday morning, about a dozen anglers took to the ice on the eastern end of Shawana Lake.
Just wanted to get away and before the holidays here, spend some time on the lake here, getting some fishing in. Been set up for about a little over a half hour now, so nothing quite yet, but hoping that the momentum's going to switch here for me. Fishing for some panfish and some northern, pretty much. Got a couple tip-ups out, and maybe a straggler walleye will come around. We'll see.
Bob Meyer says there are about 9 inches of ice on this part of Cecil Bay.
Right now, this is probably the best I've seen the ice this early in the season.
How thick is the ice out here?
We're about a little over 10.
Mike Anderegg says the surface of the 6,200-acre lake started to freeze last month.
Shortly after deer hunting,
yeah,
it had ice on, but not good enough to walk on. But I've been out here for 2.5, 3 weeks now.
Really?
Yeah, so I'm getting there.
Anderegg says he caught a couple bluegills, but otherwise he says the bite has been slow.
I might be in the wrong spot. You never know. That's fishing. It's just something to do.
Yeah.
When you're retired, you ain't got too much to do. So here's what I do.
I just love being outdoors. We usually have a good group of guys, some buddies of mine that we like to go fishing together with and have them make a day of it and get out and do some cooking around noon and things like that and enjoy getting into some fishing.
And ice can come in many forms. You've heard the terms sleet and freezing rain. What's the difference between the two? Let's take a look at a TikTok post from meteorologist Christina Ernie to find out.
To make it super simple for you, sleet pings, freezing rain clings. Sleet is more closely related to snow because the precipitation originates from a cold air mass, so it starts as snow. But then it encounters a warm layer. It's kind of like a sandwich. There's cold air, and then there's this warm layer that actually melts the snow. Eventually, it re-encounters some of that cold air, though, partially refreezing the precipitation, creating these ice balls that you typically see. They're of varying sizes, of course, depending on the storm. But freezing rain can potentially be the more dangerous of the two because it creates ice upon impact. Although, like sleet, it originates from a colder air mass, but it falls through an even larger warm air mass, creating rain instead of those snowflakes. But at the immediate surface, that precipitation, that rain can refreeze just enough for it to cling on every surface it touches.
And one thing you can count on in 2025 was our podcast Off the Radar. 50 weeks this year, host Emily Gracie examined topics ranging from sharks to volcanoes and AI forecasting to concerts and climate. Emily will take a deeper dive into her top episodes next week. But on this night before Christmas, she gives us a sneak peek in a celebration of the season.
'Twas the week before Christmas, and all through the feed, no new episode waiting, no stories you need. The studio sat quiet, the forecast at rest, while Off the Radar paused to recharge at its best. The listeners were busy with travel and cheer, so a break felt just right at this time of year. But still came a whisper, a soft little spark, a mini reminder as days became dark. For soon comes the episode wrapping the year with highlights and hindsight and maybe some cheer. A look back at moments both wild and calm, the surprises, the lessons, the guests we had on. So before the year ends and we close out its lore, I thought we'd peek back at the highlights once more. A handful of journeys from mountains to shore, the tales from the year that I truly adore. We trek up Mount Everest in thin mountain air, where the landscape is shifting as the ice grows more rare. We drifted through space debris high above Earth, a cosmic junkyard with collisions of worth. We flew into hurricanes wild in their spin, chasing the data that storms hide within. We tackled the challenge of climate communications, finding new ways to spark honest conversation. We honored Katrina at 20 years past, reflecting on lessons those memories cast. We journeyed into volcanoes with rumbles and glow, where the ground tells a story from deep down below. And we faced tragic weather with steady hearts too, holding space for the grief time has yet to undo. And from me as your host, just a moment to say how grateful I am that you've joined me each day. Your questions, your messages, the time that you spare give this little show life beyond compare. So think of this message as warmth in the night, a short little poem to keep spirits light. May your holidays bring comfort, hope, and cheer, and may calm skies greet you as you welcome the new year. More tales of the sky and storms are in view, but for now, may sunshine and light breezes find you. May your new year bring joy, whether near or afar. Happy holidays from the team at Off the Radar.
As we head to break, here are some scenes of Christmas in Milesburg, Pennsylvania.
Well, a very good Wednesday morning, everyone. I'm meteorologist Andrew Buck-Michael. Taking a look at weather across the Midwest for the day today. We do have a little bit of just scattered light rain across the lower Great Lakes in the Ohio Valley today. Ramps up a little bit more tonight, but generally looking pretty quiet for your Thursday tomorrow across the Midwest here for Christmas. Looking pretty good for any traveling plans you have. A little bit of rain does build in the lower Great Lakes for Friday.
I'm meteorologist Joe DiCarlo. Look to forecast across the region in pretty quiet conditions as we head into your Christmas Eve. We'll start with some patchy clouds and fog across portions of Texas and Louisiana, and we'll keep it warm across the region. We're talking 70s on your Christmas Eve, lower 70s to the north, mid to upper 70s, near 80 across areas to the south. A similar forecast as we head into Christmas Day as well.
Well, hi there, and good Christmas Eve morning to everybody. I'm meteorologist Shannon O'Donnell. Most of the weather woes for the country are out west here. From California to the Canadian border, we've got wet and windy weather from LA all the way on up to Seattle in particular today. Look at this big area of low pressure. It is going to skyrocket up the west coast, pulling wind into it as it goes. A windstorm for Christmas Eve in western Washington, heavy rain for California. And that's the scene from here.
You are watching the National Weather Desk.
Well, if you hit the roads today to be with family for Christmas and you notice your car's tire pressure warning is on, don't panic. It could just be the weather. Meteorologist Lindsay Storrs explains.
Tell me if this has ever happened to you. You get in your car on the first cold morning of the winter and you see this little symbol. After a little bit of investigation, you find out that your tire pressure is low. But you know your tire pressure was fine yesterday, so what changed while you were sleeping overnight? The temperature. That's what changed. So why does temperature impact tire pressure? Take a look. Air molecules behave differently depending on the temperature. When it's warm, air molecules move quickly and take up more space, so the pressure inside your tire is higher. When it's cold, air molecules move slower and don't take up as much space, so your tire pressure drops. So when you see that little light pop up, it's important to put more air in your tires. If you drive around on tires where the pressure's too low, it can cause tire stress and uneven wear, so you'll have to replace your tires more often.
And thank you so much for joining us. I'm meteorologist Matt Ritter. Join us tomorrow morning for 30 minutes of just holiday lights and Christmas music, lights from across the country. A perfect way to start your Christmas morning. Make it a great day today. Have a wonderful Christmas Eve. We'll see you right back here tomorrow for the National Weather Desk.